When will pre-cruise testing end? Will smoking ever get banned in the casino? And when will we hear more about Icon of the Seas? I've got the latest Royal Caribbean news that you need to know about. Here we go. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we have a lot of Royal Caribbean news that came out this week because Royal Caribbean is hosting its President's Cruise up in Alaska on Ovation of the Seas. The President's Cruise is an annual gathering in which Royal Caribbean invites its most loyal customers, guests, to cruise with Royal Caribbean CEO Michael Bailey. And every year they hold a Q&A session in which a lot of different topics get asked. And there's a lot of different things that get brought up in this session. There's gripes, there's suggestions, there's compliments, and of course, questions that people want to know about various aspects of Royal Caribbean. And within it, and it lasted about 90 minutes in this case, we got some good updates on things that are happening and not happening in the world of Royal Caribbean, and I wanted to make sure that you were all up to date with everything going on. Let's start off with something that I know that everyone always asks all the time. When will Royal Caribbean end pre-cruise COVID testing and or the vaccine mandate? These questions are the top two I get all the time. And basically, while there's been a little conjecture from the cruise industry that they're looking for pre-cruise testing to be reviewed, right now, don't expect it to change anytime in the near future. Michael Bailey, who is Royal Caribbean International's president and CEO, talked about this and gave an answer when asked about it and says, quote, "I think pre-cruise testing is going to be around for another couple of months," end quote. As it relates to the vaccine requirement, Mr. Bailey admitted it's still a big unknown. Quote, "The no vaccine question is a huge question that none of us know the answer to. Quote, I'm skeptical that that's going to change in the real short term. Many and most of the destinations that we visit require a high degree of vaccination, and they expect our crew to be vaccinated. So many of the destinations in the Caribbean simply don't have the kind of medical facilities and care that we've got back in the States. So they genuinely are very vulnerable, and so they're obviously very concerned. There are some people who question the effectiveness of having these mandates in place, but Mr. Bailey shared a really interesting insight from the CDC. Every week, Royal Caribbean and other lines have calls with the CDC to go over various topics. And about 2 weeks ago, the CDC shared that over the past 12 months across all cruise lines, not just Royal Caribbean, but every single cruise line operating from the U.S., over 12 months, they said how many people have been hospitalized with COVID and how many deaths have occurred from COVID from people who'd sailed on industry ships, which, by the way, is in the millions, and the number of people who've died from COVID who've sailed on ships over the past year was exactly 2. And Mr. Bailey said, quote, 2 is terrible, but against the context of everything we've seen, it's truly been a remarkable success. Another hot button topic is, what about smoking in the casino? Some people asked about when maybe Royal Caribbean might ban smoking in the casinos, and Michael Bailey admitted that this issue is more of a dilemma between those who do smoke and those that don't smoke. And he said the issue is that there's a lot of people who want to smoke in the casino, and it's just not maybe a popular response, but it's the truth. And he said, quote, "I'm not judging anyone or anything, but there's a large group of people who do want to smoke in the casino." And he even admitted that every couple of years they do a test in which maybe 1 or 2 or 3 ships ban smoking at the casino. And according to Michael Bailey, the result is less people go in the casino, and that's the reality of it. He admitted that a full smoking ban in the casino doesn't seem very likely, but Royal Caribbean is looking at ways to create more smoke-free spaces in the casino, which he thinks will be helpful. The next topic was fuel surcharges, and of course, I think everyone's well aware that the cost of fuel is higher today than it was at the beginning of the year, and people asked, maybe we'd have to pay a fuel surcharge for going on a Royal Caribbean cruise. This was something that we saw back in 2008, 2009, when fuel prices were really high as well, and Michael Bailey basically said he's not sure exactly, but at the moment, quote, "we're not planning on putting a fuel surcharge in." To put the high price of fuel in context, the cost of West Texas Intermediate oil, which is a common benchmark, spiked to about over $120 a barrel at times this year, but has since dropped back to around $110 a barrel as of the recording of this episode. That's up from about $76 a barrel at the start of the year. Now, in 2008, when West Texas Intermediate peaked at around $146 a barrel, adjusted for inflation, that was $192 in today's dollars. Now, Mr. Bailey did admit the issue is still up in the air. Quote, "We try to understand what the implications of a fuel surcharge are. I say we don't know. We've seen all the uncertainty of all these dynamics. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or the week after." Then, of course, there's Icon of the Seas. And it seems like everybody can't believe, including myself, that Royal Caribbean hasn't shared more details about its next new cruise ship, but everything is still under wraps for at least a little while longer. Mr. Bailey was asked about when we might get more information about the ship, and he mentioned that they're going to be giving more details in September. And he says, we're going to be launching Icon of the Seas starting in September. By launching, I mean we're going to start to communicate. We have a whole planning program of communication, social media, marketing, TV, radio, you name it. While he didn't provide any more details about Icon, he did actually slip up at one point and let loose the name of that mystery sphere that we've seen photos of for months. Yeah, that sphere object that has been added to Icon of the Seas is officially known as the Pearl. But what it is, what it does, what's inside, I have no idea. But when somebody asked about the thing and then he mentioned the Pearl as a response, he quickly realized he made a mistake. And yeah, so we know it's called the Pearl. But again, what it does is anybody's guess. And lastly, we have an idea of when the next President's Cruise is going to be. If you want to go there to ask Mr. Bailey a question yourself, well, the good news is the 2023 President's Cruise will be held on Allure of the Seas on the July 23rd, 2023 sailing from Galveston, Texas. This is a 7-night Western Caribbean cruise that visits Roatan, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. And it's probably not much of a surprise that they decided to pick Allure out of Galveston because, of course, Royal Caribbean will be opening its new cruise terminal in Galveston in November of 2022. Terminal 3 is where Royal Caribbean is building a new $125 million new cruise terminal for Allure, and it's located at Pier 10 for exclusive use by Royal Caribbean. Now, when it comes to the President's Cruise, there's nothing special you have to do. You book it like any other cruise, call your travel agent, let them book it for you. But the good news is if you're on board, then you can certainly qualify for all the special events and special things, giveaways they might have on board. So there you go. There's the latest look at some of the big Royal Caribbean news out there. I'd love to know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on Michael Bailey's answers to some of these questions? I'm sure that there's a few of those topics that have some strong opinions either way. Keep it civil, please. But certainly Michael Bailey touched on some real hot button topics, and I certainly was thinking about it after hearing everything he had to say, but I want to hear what you have to say about it as well. Let me know in the comments below. While you're down there, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on your notifications. That way, YouTube lets you know we have a brand new video to share. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.